was intense. Lee, you missed it. Bruh.
I'm so glad you're back, Lee. No. So, Lee, I think when we dropped off was standing up and dusting off your pantalones, I think is where we lost you.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to just like dust off our pantalones and, go back to normal. Normal is dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Forward, the question is, what are we going to build? And crashing this, we almost don't have to crash it. It's more like duck and cover right now.
Right.
But the question is, how do we so organize so that we have a functioning system without the people who were previously the owner of everything?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the solution for you? What would you say that is the most important thing for everybody to do right now?
Good question.
So the most important thing for everybody to do, once we can get out and associate with each other again, is going to be working at a grassroots level within our communities to make sure we're taking care of each other, to make sure that, the people who are more vulnerable have food and a place to stay. There's a don't pay the rent movement right now. We may need to organize massive squats so the people with empty hotels suddenly find themselves housing the homeless. We can do these things.
Mm.
I like it. Yeah, the opportunities are vast. I think that if we could get some green energy going, retool maybe some of our industrial complexes to a more sustainable green, whatever's available. I know I watched the Michael Moore documentary, Planet of the Humans, and green energy is very dirty, but I feel like we can continue putting efforts into making that more sustainable and more sustainable and more sustainable as time goes by. But I think we should retool our industrial parkways in the country. I've lived all over the country. I've seen so many just buildings just empty and so much could be produced. I often thought, oh, God, why did we get rid of all our business? We have all these empty buildings just sitting here. I think we could retool them into a green, sustainable as we can for now way and bring back our work, put people at good jobs where they're making $20, $25 an hour and insurance or whatever, and really get some good jobs back here. Like we were talking about earlier, the lot of jobs are being had, but there's 3 per person and they're losing their shit. That's not a good way to be. We need to bring back real jobs and get some of that green energy flowing. That's where I would go. Where would you go, Bo?
I would love to see a bunch of Venus projects happening, at least 5, because I know the construction would be needed. I know the job opportunities would be plentiful, and it would be sustainable. I don't know if you guys realize or know what I'm talking about when I say Venus projects.
Oh, I just heard it as something really obscene, actually, Bo, but I'm glad you're talking about the Venus.
The Penis Project will heal all things. It will heal all wounds. Everyone should join up into the Penis Project. No, Venus Project. I'm not really for sure what it is. Bo, do you want to give us a couple words on what it is?
Actually, now I'm more prone to the Penis Project.
Sounds a little more exciting.
I'm thrown off Lee's projections. All right, fair enough. They got sex bots out now that are looking pretty good.
Christ almighty.
Pretty tantalizing.
What is the Venus Project? I would like to know.
The Venus Project was Jock Fresco had, and I want you to go and look up Zeitgeist and watch all the Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
But in the Zeitgeist, he talks about the Venus Project, and it's a futuristic city where it's self-sustainable. The transportation is magnetic frequencies.
I can dig.
They grow their own food. It's solar. Everything is on the level of self-sustainability. So I encourage you to look at it. He can explain way better than I can.
Sure.
But it was beautiful. The way he broke it down, the way technology can be used in a way for all of our benefit instead of competition or something to get over on people. Because where we're at right now, for me, and the way it feels, is that we're coming to a realization that we don't need money. We don't need to live like this. It's been a trick that's been played on us for the longest time.
Absolutely.
And coming to this awakening is taking us back to earth, which is why I'm saying grow your shit, grow something. I don't care what it is, grow a plant, grow something. Get into the mindset of growing, because that mindset is going to propel us into this other dimension. But you got to grow something. Get into the mindset of growing.
And the markup.
Right. Well, we're into permaculture here, and there's a lot to be said about that. One of the challenges we have, one of the resources that I believe we've wasted horribly is the human brain. And where I'm going with that is when we talk about jobs, you're still talking about scenarios where 500 people show up, one guy's giving him a paycheck, and most of the rest are really expected to leave their brains at the time clock. If you've worked in a large corporation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sit down, shut up, do your job.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So when you have 500 people and 450 of them have no agency and are not allowed to engage their intellect, that is an enormous waste of a powerful cognitive resource. And that's why what Richard Wolff is talking about, enterprise without bosses and democratization of the workplace, is something we really, really need to think about.
Lee, do me a favor. On your phone,
sure.
turn off the video, and it will stop that skipping, because it's using more energy to grab your video instead of just your vocal. When it's just your vocal,
you know how to do that.
You'll be clearer. So just look on your screen and see where you see the video camera. Put the mute on that, and you'll be clearer in a more fluent way.
Oh, I didn't realize you had a video on.
It was very psychedelic. I was tripping the whole time.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I make you trip.
Appreciate it. You were going around the room. I was like, yes. How does he? Okay, he's staggering. He's stuttering. Okay.
Well, he's. I didn't realize he had his video on. I just thought maybe the connection was rough because he got dropped off the Skype. But if his video is on, that will definitely take some juice. So, yes, you'll be much more clear now. And this is these live shows. We kind of work everything out as we go, which is stressful sometimes. But
I love what he's saying. Oh, Jesus, Lee is awesome.
Well, Lee is way cool. I was reading his stuff, and I'm like, I think just even trying to read his stuff goes way over my head half of the time. But I like that he has that knowledge, so I can start chewing on it. Lee, do you hear us talking about you like you're not even here?
I hear you talking about that, and yet, I am the living disproof of your contention because I can't figure it out. So, your whole title has great.
It sounds like the connection is pretty bad. It sounds like you're underwater. Bo, are you hearing him underwater?
Yeah, and it's only because he's got the video on. All right, click on the screen, Lee.
How do you know?
Put your finger on the screen, and then when
you see
that camera, go ahead, because I can click the camera right now and make myself seen, but then again I can't because I got it covered. So
see what it's telling me when I click on it? Your camera is not available while in a video call.
That's what it says. Your camera's not available in a video call. Okay. Interesting. No
worries.
Yeah, it was just kind of going in and out, and you sounded like a robot for a second, but I think we might be back online now, which, again, Skype's been funny. I think that everyone being sheltered in place has really put a strain on the Internet, and it's been doing wonky things. So, Lee, say something now.
Very psychedelic, though, Lee. I appreciate it.
Lee, say something else. Let's see if you're clearer now.
Okay. How's that?
Oh, better. We can hear you. Fantastic.
Great.
And we have a lot more time here, and I really wanted to go into more of the insurance stuff. And I wanted to ask you a couple questions that I'm just dying to ask. Did you work directly with Michael Moore when you were featured in his documentary Sicko?
I don't know what you mean. Work directly. I certainly did meet him on a couple of occasions. The way this happened, Michael Moore sent out an email all over the United States, right, that said, basically, I'm making a documentary about the medical system in America, and if you have some horror stories, I'd like to hear them. And I'm like, buddy, you better sit down and fasten your seatbelt because I've seen the shit. So I sent him off a long email, and then he vetted it, or his staff did, and then I was flown down to San Antonio, Texas, put up in the Hilton, and the next morning we all went out to the park, and they interviewed me for probably 4 hours and took a very small portion and spliced and edited it, and that's my role in Sicko. Really didn't talk about the whistleblowing, didn't talk about a lot of stuff, just my role as the evil insurance company hitman.
Were you upset? So you were upset with it?
No, I wasn't upset with it. Michael Moore's documentary.
If you were the evil hitman, it was kind of like, oh shit, he set me up.
I didn't feel bad about it. I mean, I didn't. Let me put it like this, Bo. I didn't say anything that wasn't true, and I wasn't misquoted. I was simply presented selectively.
Well, come on, that's still like the same as like, okay, I didn't mean it that way kind of scenario, right?
No, I have to be honest. There was a short period in my career where I was working for an insurance company, and I was used to do some really shitty stuff. I did some really shitty stuff.
Fair enough.
That's why I was called the insurance company hitman in the documentary. So, okay, I plead guilty. If I'm going to take some for that, and if I can do that and move the single payer movement forward, then better yet.
What would you do differently looking back on it now? That if you could have made a difference overall, what would it have been?
To make a difference overall.
Well, to go through what you went through, to take people what you went through as a hitman. If you had a chance to do it over again, what would you have done?
I'm not sure. Life is what happens when you're making other plans. And we're talking about other plans. So, to be real blunt, working for an insurance company is a shit show.
Yeah.
If you understand how you're impacting the people on the other end, if you have an iota of intelligence and empathy at some point when you're processing that claim, you will know, hey, someone put in a wheelchair, right? Some guy's sick and he's not getting a hospital bed. Somebody's dying and he's not getting a heart-lung transplant. Why? They have huge turnover. Now, me, long story, but I came to Detroit in the wake of Roger Smith's just pulling the rug out from under the entire Detroit economy. I was a Teamster. I had my withdrawal card in my hand. I walked to the Union Hall, and he looked at me and said, buddy, we can't help our own. Right? So I'm desperate from anything because I'm not going to be living under an overpass and selling pencils out of a can. Not if I can help it. But there's always turnover in insurance companies. So I was able to get in, and I was able to really kind of understand the way the whole